live. Hi, it is Friday. It's the 1st of September 2023 and I finished a chapter halfway through yesterday because of the battery. I'm reading out of Eyes of Horus. It is a far memory book by Joan Marshall Grants. She passed away in 1989 and this book is about Ra-Up, who is an heir to the nomarch of the Oryx. It's the only peaceful nomarch in Egypt 3,500 years BC. So we were here at a report Ra-Up was listening to of Neku, who had been disguised Neku reporting about how his 4 friends have been killed whilst building a road. After the last of them had finished speaking, they wanted to revolt, 20 of them, and Rodan tries to talk them out of it because it's too early. After the last of them had finished speaking, Rodan began. You have come to demand that the watchers should march forthwith against the oppressors, saying that men of courage cannot wait for the dawn while blood is crying for retribution. You are free to make your own choice, for though some of you still wore shackles when you came to Hotep Ra, you have now grown strong enough to know yourselves free men, whose old ties have snapped like twists of withered grass. I have never asked you to curtail your freedom by making such an oath of allegiance to me, nor shall I ever ask you to make such an oath. It is necessary for a man who has walked out of the shadow to declare that the sun shines upon him. You have the opportunity to see how people live in the Oryx. If you think you would be happier in another part of Egypt, go there and dwell in peace. It isn't that we don't like it here, said Kenhan. It's that we don't like being safe ourselves while we know our friends are still being oppressed. It's all very well for you to say wait, but what would you feel like if you were being flogged every day? Sometimes it is not all easy to say wait. I can assure you that I have often wished for the satisfaction which you had when you broke the neck of the whip man. But what if I killed 1,000 whip men? Until whip men are no longer necessary, there would be plenty of others willing to take their place. I'm not training you to fight against men, but against fear. Fear must be banished from Egypt before there can be peace. Let us strike our blow now, before fear grows any stronger. You would only make men afraid of you. Would it make Set any less strong if you feed him a different blood? Sheep will follow a bell ram even though he leads them to slaughter. You wish to go and kill the bell ram, and leave the flock with nothing to follow. Have you forgotten the story of the sheep who killed their own bell ram and then huddled together in terror when they heard the hunting cough of a leopard? They were afraid because they were leaderless and didn't know which way to run. When they heard the bell with which they were familiar, they were eager to follow it. They thought that this time it would lead them into a quiet pasture. You may remember that the bell was tied around the neck of the leopard who was hunting them. It was a resourceful beast, and though thought of this simple way of leading them to the mouth of its cave where it could devour them at leisure. You ask me for permission to do what you consider is needed. If you met a man who thought himself blind because his eyes were bandaged, would you lead him by the hand, or would you tell him to take off the bandage and see for himself? Each of you has removed a different bandage, and yet you expect me to say that your eyes belong to me, and that you must not use them without asking my permission. Only those who are blind are content to follow a voice they do not understand. But you are free men, who must make your own choice. Perhaps I can see further than you, so listen to me a little longer before you come to a decision. We will forget such small difficulties as the fact that the army of the Oryx numbers only 1,000 men, and that the other southern gnomes are not yet ready to send their soldiers to join us. Let us pretend that each of our soldiers has the strength of 1,000 and that they are under your command. Would you tell them to kill every official, every overseer, every headman in Egypt? Not all of them, said Kanhan, only those who were oppressing the people. You consider yourself to be a competent judge of all the thousands who hold authority under Pharaoh. Which of them shall be put to death? Which shall be banished? Which shall be allowed to continue in office? Which shall have his authority reduced? No, of course I don't, said Kanhan uncomfortably. I've told you about one overseer, though, and my friends have each told you of one or two others. I know. This is why you are here. Please do not think I underestimate your help. Each of you has brought me evidence which is needed. Through what you have told me, I have been able to make a sound judgment of 43 men. Some of you look surprised. Do you imagine that I had forgotten your stories and had not taken steps to confirm the wisdom of your judgments? 43 names have been added to my list. 3 of them, I shall not tell you yet which 3, will continue to hold office for the reason that you suffered through them only because they upheld the present laws and not because they abused authority. When the new laws are enforced, they will see they are faithfully administered. Of those that remain, 5 will be banished from Egypt, 12 will be given positions of a smaller capacity, suitable to their powers, and the others will change place with those who used to work under them. If you act now, you will only be setting one caste against another, the rulers against the rules, the rich against the poor, soldiers against field workers. If this is your plan, had you not better start by killing me? I am a noble and had sufficient treasure to build this village in which you are all living, to own this house in which we are holding this discussion. Or would you prefer to kill Ra, who sits beside me? Is he not the son of the nomarch who represents Pharaoh? Rodan looked at each man in turn. Do none of you want to kill me? Are you not being unfaithful to your ideals? Down with the ruling caste. What does it matter what kind of men they are? Kenhan flushed, and the others grinned at his embarrassment. Rodan turned to me. It seems, Ra'ab, that we are permitted to live a little longer. Then to the others. The dawn will come the moment that the watchers know sufficient to weigh the hearts of all those who hold authority. And more important still, as soon as they are made to replace the rotten wood by sound timbers in the house of Egypt. Each of you will then be ready to take your place in the two lands, according to your individual degrees of wisdom. Thus from chaos shall come order, and from tribulation shall come peace. We are here to teach men to see the horizon toward which we are all traveling. When they are no longer blinded by illusion, they will know that the roads of earth are blocked with people trying to go in opposite directions, fighting each other to a standstill, only because they cannot see that all roads lead to the horizon, and men who rightly follow them can never come into conflict with each other. Those of you who still wish for us to march against the other 17 gnomes, putting to death all who hold office under Pharaoh, declare it now. But no one declared such a wish, for Rodan had shown them that men cannot destroy in the name of creation, nor shed blood in the name of peace. So this was the end of this chapter, which was entitled Hanuk's Journey. Have a good Friday.